Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Dual Destinies. Previously, we completed the second and final investigation phase of the second case in this game. And now we're just now beginning to go into the court phase. And frankly speaking, I don't think I've ever felt this secure in our prospects because damn, we found some real aces up our sleeve. We found a personal beauty product that was specifically tailored to the whims of one specific man and not available to the public at all, in a locked room that by no means should have been opened to anyone. And the fact that we found it there means that this man is probably the killer. Definitely the killer. And there's also the matter of the missing staff on the rack, which Jinxie saw in her testimony. Oh man, we have LaBelle dead to rights, so let's get going here, shall we? Court is back in session for the trial of Damien Tenma. Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor. Athena Sykes, assistant defender, is ready too, Your Honor. Je suis prête. As chipper as ever, I see. And in French, no less. And the prosecution? Oh, he's afraid of the shocks. Oh no. Also, he's back in new cuffs, I think. Yeah, that's the implication. Very well then. By the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to provide sturdier shackles today. There will be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackquill. Now, your opening statement, if you would. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it. Looks like the judge is really bringing it today. He probably realized how Blackquill played him. That was one mean game, as Simon says. Yeah, His Honor has to fight to defend his honor today. Your baldness. It's plain to see that you've always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement. I have? I don't know if I'd say that. Why, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes the last time you gave the opening statement. That was the look of one who yearns deeply for the thrill of an epic opening statement. For decades now, you have been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court, the one thing you could not possess. The crown jewels of the court? Now, at long last, they're within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse? So you don't mind if I do it then? I'll make special exception just this once. Here we go again. Yep, more of Blackquill's mind games. Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. In yesterday's session, we learned the shocking truth that the victim, Alderman Rex QB, was the Amazing Ninetails. We also learned that the Amazing Ninetails was a key figure in the yokai craze and anti-merger protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex QB's secret identity, Mayor Damien Tenma murdered him. The fact that the crime took place in a tightly locked room was also brought to light. And the only people in that tightly locked room were the defendant and victim. The defense proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party, but further investigation revealed no proof of a third party who had escaped the room. Ergo, we must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Oh, but did I say something wrong? That was quite astonishing. You've truly outdone yourself this time. Oh, one more thing to boast about to my grandchild. Well, this was not an unexpected turn of events. Now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify. The inexplicable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, does that not demand some sort of explanation? The feathers and tracks. Weren't those left by the mayor while he was possessed? That was but an act to protect his daughter. Oh, yes, of course. I had suspected as much. Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's award-winning performance? His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. Ergo, the true identity of the yokai in the manor was the manor's maid, Jinxie Tenma.
Objection!
The prosecution is engaging in mere conjecture. Would you care for some witness testimony then? For I am ready to prove that the little scamp is the one behind the Tenma Taro farce. Witness testimony? I'll bet he means Filch and that creep LaBelle. Very well then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? Mr. Filch, you made quite the hasty exit yesterday. See that it doesn't happen again today.
I've been known for my hasty retreat since I was a kid. Bit of a trademark of mine.
Indeed. You managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip.
Like those amateurs could ever nab me. Yipes!
Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place.
Yipes! No, please. I'm liable to rip my own head off if I start running.
Your statement, now.
Yes, sir, Mr. Blackhead, sir. He may beat a hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackquill.
Yeah, Blackquill doesn't strike me as the give-up-easy type. Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically, the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime. We should be able to shred through this witness testimony like wet tissue paper.
Tenma Taro's really that little maid gal. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Tenma Taro I saw was just a little thing about her size. The little runt had a big old staff. I seen it when she came into the foyer. Betcha she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene.
How would you know what's in the Forbidden Chamber?
She was gonna use it to wallop me on account of my fierce reputation, I just know it.
So, Tenma Taro was short in stature. And that's because it was Miss Jinxie Tenma all along.
You betcha. Besides, all the rest of the manor were way taller than her.
Feigning height is but an easy thing. But a big ox like the defendant could never pass for short. What if the Tenma Taro impersonator was walking on their knees?
Weren't no knee walking. I seen it myself.
Then perhaps that yokai really was Miss Tenma after all. All monsters are naught but tricks, either of the mind or the cheap parlor variety. So you're saying she created an illusion like one of those magical eye things? I've never been able to get those to work for me. Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams about some ghost he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor. Riveting story. Ho! Prosecutor Blackquill just gave up the ghost, literally. The janitor's deathly complexion and all-white attire are, no doubt, partially to blame. That and the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that. Wait, Why does that sound familiar? Is there an Ace Attorney character who has kept muttering about taking vengeance? Uh-huh. That actually sounds like a real ghost to me. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Tenmataro's really that little maid gal. Ain't no doubt about it.
Hold it!
Mr. Filch, you and Mr. LaBelle mentioned something about a practice yesterday. Do you deny this so-called lesson was about what you were supposed to say in court?
No, you got it all wrong.
Then, could you tell the court exactly what sort of lesson it was?
It was, what was it again? Yipes! Now I remember. Math, you know, numbers and stuff.
He's completely under Black Quill's control, too.
Anyway, that Tenmataro was that little maid gal, so what's the difference? I mean, the Tenmataro I saw was just a little thing about her size.
Hold it!
I take it you got a good look at how tall Tenmataro impersonator was.
You betcha. I got a habit of sizing people up. I can even give you a primer on how to pull it off. All under the table, Natch. I got a knack for figuring out where people's pockets are and how much money they have. I size them up real good before I relieve them of their valuables.
He just admitted to being a pickpocket right here in court. Does the witness hold that this Tenmataro entered the foyer?
Darn right I do. But the little runt had a big old staff. I seen it when she came into the foyer.
Hold it!
Well, you're not going to brush it all off by claiming the perp was short.
Must have hit a raw nerve, 'cause you ain't that tall yourself.
Look who's talking, Mr. I've got to stand on a box just to testify. Anyway, Mr. Filch, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say the Tenmataro you saw had a staff?
Cross my heart, hope to die. I know, 'cause it went to jingle and a jangle.
And where do you suppose that staff came from?
The staff, you say? Well, betcha she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene.
Hold it!
I suppose you mean to say that Jinxie Tenma entered the Forbidden Chamber to get one.
Well, I ain't never seen a staff like that in the manor, so it had to be the Forbidden Chamber.
Oh, really? The stench of LaBelle is thick in the air today. Jinxie entered the Forbidden Chamber after the incident? Then she took the staff and tried to cover up her actions by pretending to be Tenmataro. I guess that's what Filch is trying to say? Could Jinxie have even entered the Forbidden Chamber if she wanted to? There is one thing I was wondering about. Why did that yokai have a staff in the first place?
Well, I've got my hunches about that. She was gonna use it to wallop me on account of my fierce reputation, I just know it.
Hold it!
Wallop you? And why would the so-called yokai want to do that?
That little maid gal never did like me. She always hightails it when I come round, or she sticks these weird papers on my noggin.
She probably thinks of him as the dreaded Tanuki monster of QB Manor or something. Oh, come on. No one dreads Tanuki, they're adorable.
We need to prove that Jinxie isn't Tenmataro. But I've no idea how we're going to do that.
All we have to do is prove that it was impossible for Jinxie to turn into Tenmataro. And that might be easier than you think.
Really?
Now's our chance. Our chance to expose the real Tenmataro for all to see. Yeah, it's this line, definitely. She stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene. But how would that be possible? It's locked and sealed. So what evidence would point to that? Yeah, this is the key that opens the chamber, but it was inside Mayor Tenma's stomach at the time.
Objection!
It would seem that Tenmataro was, in fact, not this innocent little girl. Huh? How you figure that? You claim the Tenmataro you saw had one of those staves from the Forbidden Chamber. It would have been impossible for Miss Tenma to get a hold of one. Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice? The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber. What's this? This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Tenma discovered the crime scene. So you see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. In short, the Tenmataro seen holding that staff could not have been Jinxie Tenma. Ugh. What? But then who does the defense believe was impersonating Tenmataro? Our Tenmataro impersonator is none other than... Such accusations beg evidence. Aside from his ghastly appearance, can you prove he is the yokai we seek? Oh, I guess... none other than Mayor Tenma's aide, yeah. Yes, in fact, I can. Very well, let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the true identity of the Tenmataro impersonator. Wait, are we really bringing out the hand cream right now? Uh-oh. Why are we busting out our ace, our trump cards so soon? Oh no. Okay, well, here we go.
Take that!
We found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber. And we know that whoever was Tenmataro took one of the staves out of there. In short, I believe whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for. But, Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner? I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requests a fingerprint analysis on this piece of evidence. It might tell us who it belongs to. Interesting. So, you expect to find the yokai's prints there? Very well, I hereby call a short recess while we wait for the fingerprint results. No need for that, Your Baldness. We have the prints of everyone at the manor that day. You called, Prosecutor Blackquill? Could anyone be more whipped? Foolbright, analyze this for prints. You have 3 minutes. Your wish is my command. Very well then, I guess we'll just wait right here. It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete. What do the results show? What in the world? They're Florent Labelle's prints, aren't they? This is absurd. Prosecutor Blackquill? I'm not going to like this, am I? Don't tell me. They're Tenmataro's prints. Fingerprint analysis has revealed that the prints belong to... Phineas Filch. Of course! Of course! Oh, he just couldn't help himself. Oh, that poor man.
Objection!
Wait, what? What? Then Mr. LaBelle wasn't the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
Objection!
Why, you tricksy little Tanuki. Explain yourself now.
Sure. Them prints are mine. I mean, I did pilfer that hand cream from Mr. LaBelle after all.
So you're the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
So what if I did? You got a problem with it? Yipes!
You fool of a Tanuki. Order! Order! Mr. Justice, care to explain what this could mean? Excellent question. The fact that Mr. Filch was in the Forbidden Chamber... Wait a second. Does this mean the Tenma Taro holding that staff was Phineas Filch?
Yipes! Another cat out of the bag!
Really? Mr. Filch is Tenma Taro. I'm stunned too. What the hell? I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer? The witness will explain himself this instant.
I'm begging your pardon, your honorship, but I was just doing what the alderman told me. He wanted me to be Tenma Taro in the village exorcism ritual.
Oh, you mean that event at the Nine Tails Vale Festival? So that was you inside the Tenma Taro costume?
Yup, and after the event I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of the wrestlers being complete jobbers.
So he didn't actually watch the entire wrestling match?
That's when I looked at the Tenma Taro costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. And because of them superstitions, no matter what I do, the villagers won't say a word.
Villagers? In other words, you use the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible. Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place?
Because of the treasure there. Thought that was my big chance to sneak on in and nab it.
Treasure?
Only that is the greatest get-rich-quick chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it, so there's an amazing treasure in there.
He went in there not knowing his grandfather had already pilfered it. Guess that's one tale that didn't get passed down from a grandpappy to grandson. Wait, how exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. You couldn't have possibly gotten in. Seriously?
I could get through the air vent in the foyer. The vent's left of the alderman's picture. I went on in and made a nice little hole. Used that to get into the air duct that leads to the Forbidden Chamber, I did.
You dug through the rock?
You what?
But how's that even possible? Wait a sec. Remember that air vent in the Forbidden Chamber? So, Mr. Filch found a way to get into that air duct? And that's how he got from the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent? Huh. Huh? Okay, that feels like a stretch, but okay. So, Tenma Taro was nothing more than a cat burglar. Or rather, a Tanuki burglar. And we're back to being without anyone to charge for the alderman's murder.
Looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big troublemaker.
Tell me, Mr. Filch, what did you do after fleeing to the foyer?
I got out of that costume right quick. Would have just caused trouble at that point.
And where is that costume now?
Heck if I know. It ain't my fault if you never find it.
The police searched every nook and cranny. No yokai costume was left in that manor. What if it was tossed outside the manor?
Oh. No way!
But maybe, just maybe... The defense seems to have hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice. Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of the costume here? Out the window, finally.
Take that!
Did you toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor.
You think I tossed it out the window? That costume cost me a pretty penny. So why would I go do something like that?
I can think of a few reasons.
Any bright ideas, Apollo?
Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out from the window, then the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And if I'm right, I might just have the thing to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Filch? I have just the evidence for you.
You do?
This evidence proves you got rid of your Tenmataro costume through the window. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Answers.
Take that!
That's... Tenmataro flying through the sky?
And just how does that prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out the window? It's quite simple. That's not Tenmataro in the photo, it's the costume Mr. Filch threw out. How many times have I had to read the words Tenmataro out loud in this case? I feel like we're well over 100 by now. Oh, worst drinking game.
Huh, that's crazy talk. You ain't serious, are ya?
There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor is pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. That's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Tenmataro really was a flight of fancy. What?
Yikes!
Oh my, so there really never was a yokai.
Oh, I can't keep any of them cats bagged. Can I still file a claim for the lost costume?
This more than proves the defense's position. Jinxie Tenma had nothing to do with staging the yokai sighting. Care to raise any objections, Prosecutor Blackquill? Man, the quill in his mouth isn't even black. I want a refund. None whatsoever. I'll deal with that Trixie Tanuki after I've dealt with this case. We did it.
Good going. Now all we have to do is make Florent LaBelle take the stand.
Objection!
Sheathing the sword a bit early, are we not?
Huh?
Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the Forbidden Chamber? Probably the same way he got in. Through the chamber's air vent. Well, then he wouldn't have run into Jinxie in the hallway. Oh no. And what of the feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime? They would suggest that the Tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection!
But the Forbidden Chamber doesn't open from the inside. So what you're saying makes no sense. Right? Someone on the outside opened the door for you, isn't that right?
Yep, that's right, Mr. Blackjack. The door suddenly sprang right open.
Hold it!
Sprung right open? Who was on the other side?
Didn't get a good look on account of the sudden glare.
Like how the reflection from my head blinds fellow moviegoers emerging from the dark. Uh-huh. I wonder what movies he likes to go see.
That's when I snatched that staff and made my daring escape. And then that little maid gal spotted me as I hightailed it down the hall.
Okay, so you just incriminated someone else as being the one to open it. Right?
That means the Forbidden Chamber wasn't opened until after the crime was discovered.
But wait, we still don't know who opened it. Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox Chamber.
Objection!
Well, you little tanuki, when the Forbidden Chamber opened, did you see the accused passed out there?
Nope. Only one there was an alderman, and he was dead as a doornail.
Only one there? What about the mayor's body? Unconscious body? Huh? If the accused wasn't there, what do you suppose he was up to? Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going. Oh, don't tell me. Plainly, the only one who could have opened the Forbidden Chamber was the accused Damien Tenma.
Yarg! Wait a second. There had to be somebody else besides Mayor Tenma there.
Really? And who might that be?
Oh, well, that would be...
Objection!
It seems our feisty little lass has forgotten the most important thing. Evidence.
I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details.
Miss Sykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort. It's a proven fact.
Sorry. Guess I put my foot in my mouth again.
No, Athena, we're definitely onto something here.
We are?
Think about it. If Filch was stuck inside the Forbidden Chamber, one of the alibis we heard would no longer hold any water. That's right. LaBelle said he was with Filch at the time, didn't he? The defense would like to call a new witness to the stand. Someone who knew Mr. Filch was stuck in the Forbidden Chamber. And by virtue of knowing this, has an alibi that no longer adds up. Not that insufferable. Very well, the court will hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up? Phoenix Wright. No.
Take that!
Oh, why, that's the defendant's aide, Florent LaBelle. Didn't he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime? True, but in his alibi, he also claimed Mr. Filch was in the foyer too. However, as we all know now, Mr. Filch was not there with Mr. LaBelle at that time. In short, Mr. LaBelle's alibi has disappeared. Arrgh. Florent LaBelle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Filch?
I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here, neither. It was all Mr. LaBelle's idea. He told me he'd button his lip about me breaking into the Forbidden Chamber. And in return, he said we'd vouch for each other's alibi.
Shame on you, Mr. Filch. Perjury is a serious crime, you know.
Ah, shucks. Mercy, Your Honorship, mercy. Ag!
I also assert that the person who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch was none other than Florent Lebel. After all, his alibi has just been proven to be a complete fabrication. I see. We will take a 20-minute recess. After which time we will see what Mr. Lebel has to say for himself. Yes. We're finally going to drag that slippery snake onto the stand. In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. Lebel about these new allegations. Well, hot dog. I'd say things are going pretty well. We did it, Apollo! We finally dragged Mr. Lebel into court. Yeah. Hey, why the long face? I can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell's bound to mount a counterattack. You really are a worrywart, aren't you? It'll be fine. That mystery figure who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch had to have been Florent Lebel. I know, but that's not what's bugging me. I wish I could put my finger on it, though. At any rate, the big showdown with Mr. Lebel is up next, so chin up, Apollo. Oh, that was fast. 11 a.m. sharp. Courtroom number 4. Yes! Joker moment! Yeah! Oh. Oh, they had to have known, didn't they? Oh, man. Oh, I don't know why it makes me so happy. Oh. Oh, man. Court is back in session. Our next witness is... Oh, man. Yes, I'm acting on behalf of the mayor in this very important matter. It seems the witness is predisposed at the moment. Oh, surely you jest. I will hold you to your promise, remember that? Oh, my deepest apologies. This is Florent Lebel, personal aide to Mayor Tenma, or should I say, the accused. Ouch. Like the poor mayor hasn't suffered enough. Well, what business do you have with me? I'm a very busy man, so let's make this as brief as possible. Your baldness. Oh, right, Mr. Filch's testimony has revealed a hole in your alibi. And for this reason, you are suspected of having some sort of connection with the case at hand. To think I'd be associated with this entirely lurid affair. Well, I'm not, so may I go now? I have very important matters to attend to.
Objection!
I don't think so, Mr. Lebel. Do you realize what a serious crime you've committed? Witness, you are being accused of perjury. This is your chance to clear the air. Fine. The truth is, I faked my alibi for a very good reason. The mayor was obviously the killer, so I created a fake alibi to confuse the matter. You see, as his personal aide, I felt I had to protect him. Sorry. You think this is funny? Without your alibi, you're a suspect too. What were you really doing at the time of the crime? Ugh, peasant, how dare you accuse me, one of the beautiful people? Stop stalling and tell the court what you were really doing at the time of the crime.
Silence!
Enough jabbering. Swords have been drawn. The time for talk is past.
Swords? What swords?
This is a duel to the death. The fate of the accused rests in our hands. Begone, ye of cowardly heart. The battlefield hath no place for ye.
His cuffs broke again. Again? Oh my.
Spare me, please.
So much for sturdier shackles. Yarg!
Those chains hindered my vow that heads would roll this day.
This gives keeping your head in court a whole new meaning.
Will the witness please deliver the accused death knell? You know of what I speak.
Oh, most certainly. His goose is already cooked. Time to stick a fork in him.
Whatever he has to say can't be good.
As I told Prosecutor Blackquill during the recess, I rushed right over to the Fox chamber when I heard little Jinxie scream.
What?
Then, drumroll please, I saw Mayor Tenma opening the Forbidden Chamber doors. But
there you have it. The mystery man who opened the chamber door, as witnessed by one Phineas Filch, it was the accused. There was never any third party.
Oh, and that's not all. I heard something quite startling there at the scene of the crime. Startling sounds bad. The mayor, who was barely conscious, muttered this. Forgive me, Jinxie, I killed the alderman. That's right, the mayor actually confessed to the murder right then and there.
Oh, brother. He confessed? Order? Order in the court. This is quite conclusive testimony as if it stands.
Just so. And quite astonishing, I might add. I only learned of this fact during the recess. I just love surprises, don't you? That's why I saved the best for last. Consider it a gift from me to you. No way. I don't believe Mr. LaBelle heard the mayor confess.
But is this really true? Did Mayor Tenma really confess?
It is indeed. During that last recess, I confirmed it with the mayor's daughter. It would seem Mayor Tenma actually did confess.
That testimony is quite favorable to the prosecutions.
This is LaBelle. Yes, I called earlier about the party reservations. That's right. I'll be calling my little shindig Mayor Tenma's Conviction Gala. A splendid time is guaranteed for all but the mayor and his defense.
Well, as it seems our witness is a very busy man, let's get right to his testimony. Mr. LaBelle, please tell us what you saw when you came upon the scene of the crime.
Ugh. I look forward to taking this guy down. I was in the hallway, hiding in the shadows. That's when I heard the confession. Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie fled without ever noticing me. Immediately after that, the mayor came to, stood up, and opened the Forbidden Chamber. As I ran in terror, the demon emerged from his prison. In shock, I fled down the hallway to my right, to the one with the phone at the end. Huh?
Well, that's where Jinxie was supposed to be. What the hell? Well, that's one big hole, alright. I must say, this is a shocking revelation. Quite unexpected. To think the defendant actually confessed then and there to this crime. Perhaps the guilt was too much to bear, so he confided in his daughter. You do realize you should not have withheld such crucial testimony from the court. Oh, once again, sorry. It's just, I feared being accused if I mentioned coming upon that most unpleasant scene. Ugh, why did the mayor's confession have to be brought up by this guy? We better do something before the judge declares the mayor guilty. As a death row inmate once told me in years gone by, there is a time to fight and a time to yield, a time to live and a time to die. Ugh, he's laying it on real thick now. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. What LaBelle saw, ugh. This will be good. I was in the hallway, hiding in the shadows. That's when I heard the confession.
Hold it!
You claim that the mayor confessed to his daughter. Are you sure about that? A peasant! You wouldn't dare ask such a question if you truly understood. True beauty is never wrong. It's not? No, beauty is carved deep in the DNA. That means I'm programmed to always be right, even when I'm wrong. Oh, brother. Can Batman sock this guy in the face? Maybe a biff? A kapow? Oh, come on. I'm not following. These exquisite ears like flowers abloom. These eyes that shine like pearls. This hair like the finest silk. Nothing can corrupt the truth they hold. Right? The witness will hurry up and explain this truth of his. Specifically, what did Jinxie Tenma do upon hearing the confession? Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie fled without ever noticing me.
Hold it!
How did Miss Tenma appear to you? Oh, the poor little thing seemed positively heartbroken, all teary-eyed and whatnot. I couldn't help but shed a few tears myself after seeing her like that. He actually sympathized with Jinxie? Seems like an overly human emotion for him. Yeah, because he's the only real monster we've seen so far, in looks and in character. The next thing I did was check my face in the mirror. Checked your face? Why? To behold the beauty that is my sadness, why else? Apollo, I'm starting to lose all faith in humanity. I know the feeling, but hang in there. At least keep faith in our client. Let's keep this moving, shall we? So, what happened next? Immediately after that, the mayor came to, stood up, and opened the forbidden chamber.
Hold it!
He opened the forbidden chamber? But why would he do that? Who knows? Maybe he wanted to free the demon Tenma Taro.
Objection!
The courtroom is no place for fairy tales. Remember, you are under oath. Hello, LaBelle speaking. Yes, I will certainly explore the matter. Toodles. Now, where were we again? You were going to tell us the real reason why the mayor opened the forbidden chamber. Oh yes, of course. Hello, this is LaBelle. Oh, a good one, sir. You're an absolute riot. Okay, but... You were saying? Never mind. This is a waste of time. He's just going to tell more lies. The witness will focus on his testimony, not his phone calls. Now, tell the court what you did after you saw the mayor open the forbidden chamber. Well, after that... As I ran in terror, the demon emerged from his prison. Oh wait, whoops. I need to press that, yeah. What was Mr. Filch like at the time? He was shouting, I can't see, I can't see. It's the curse of Tenmataro. Then, he took off running like a madman. He must have been blinded by the sudden light flooding in. Wrong. What? He set eyes upon me, and was thus blinded by my radiant beauty. Oh, brother. So it was the curse of Florent LaBelle rather than Tenmataro? Yes, I'm afraid such beauty can be a curse. It's almost criminal. The only thing criminal here is your ceaseless jabbering. Now get on with your testimony. Oh, forgive me, your darkness. Let's see, oh yes, I fled for dear life from Tenmataro and... In shock, I fled down the hallway to my right to the one with the phone at the end.
Hold it!
So after you fled into the hallway with the phone at the end, Tenmataro ran off toward the foyer? Precisely. Notice any inconsistencies, Apollo? Well, Jinxie also saw Tenmataro, right? She did. She said they passed each other in the hall after she made that call to the police. Well, if LaBelle had fled down the hall where that phone is, Jinxie would have seen him when she was returning from making her call. Oh, right. And if she saw him, she would have definitely asked him for help. Right. Just doesn't make any sense. Time to review the evidence. If we don't find some way to poke a hole in his testimony, Mayor Tenma is as good as guilty. This is bad. Very bad. We need to find an inconsistency, a mistake, some kind of conflict. It's all over if we can't find a flaw in the prosecution's case. Yeah, it's that last statement for sure. And honestly, the pressing dialogue pretty much spoiled what I have to do. Not that it wasn't obvious already. So was Jinxie's testimony? Yeah.
Objection!
Florent LaBelle, you're lying about having witnessed these events from the hallway. Oh, what on earth do you mean? Yes, care to fill the rest of us in, Mr. Justice? If Mr. LaBelle had really fled down into the hall with a phone in it, he would have crossed paths with Miss Tenma. What's this? After she discovered the crime scene, she immediately went to call the police. Then, after making her call, she went back to the main hallway, whereupon she encountered the demon, yokai, or whatever you want to call it. As for me, I call it Phineas Filch in a Tenmataro costume. The encounter happened right here, where the hallways meet. As for Mr. LaBelle, if he had fled here, feigning escape from the yokai imposter... Why, yes, the two would have crossed paths. Right, except Miss Tenma told us that there was no one else in the hall. In short, Miss Tenma did not see you in the hall because you were never really there. Oh, my eyes, my beautiful eyes. Yeah, I'm gonna see that face in my nightmares later. Ugh. Ha, not such a fabulous scent now, is it? But, Mr. Justice, the witness also stated that he heard the mayor confess. If he was lying about hearing the confession from the hall, then where was he when he heard it? Inside the Fox Chamber. Where else? But isn't that within the very crime scene? It is, Your Honor. That means he's not really a witness. Couldn't we just say he made it up? Oh, right, no, we can't because Jinxie was pressed by Black Quill in between in the recess. That's right. Rather, he's the third party I've been alleging this whole time. What? You think I'm the killer? How dare you?
Silence!
Foolish fop. A true man knows when he is beaten. A shield of lies comes to naught before a foe with the sword of truth bared. Prosecutor Blackquill, what are you? I thought we were on the same side. You are mistaken. There are no sides here, save my cold, steely edge of judgment. You are alone upon this battlefield, with naught but your lies and sickly sweet perfume. Oh, what just happened? Blackquill's really tearing into him. You heard the mayor's confession from the inside, did you not, you deviant dandy? For the sole location from which you could have seen and heard the mayor and the Tanuki, without either of them noticing you were right there in the Fox Chamber. Oh my. So that's how it's going to be. Fine, I'll come clean then. Seriously? You admit to being there in the Fox Chamber? I do. I did enter the room after the murder. But I was afraid of being falsely accused, so I lied about it. I feel terrible about lying like that, but it's a verbal cologne I use to protect myself. You'd better explain yourself, Mr. LaBelle. Yes, of course. I was just about to get to that. The witness is skating on thin ice. I'll remind you that perjury is a very serious crime. Now, let's hear your testimony again, this time without your perfume of lies. Yes, let's. But we can save that, for next time. There's so many times where I want to say, alright, yeah, we'll wrap up this case next video. And then we never do. That has happened in every Ace Attorney game. Which is why instead I'm gonna say, I think next video we actually do have a solid shot of finishing this. Who knows? Probably, likely, yeah. Yeah, I believe. I have not learned from my mistakes, no sir. So I'm gonna wonder, where the hell is he gonna say he was hiding? Like, what the hell? And also, there's still that mystery of what the deal is with the Ninetales mask that was thrown out the window. What's the story there? I don't think we ever solved that yet, so maybe that could be the key to finding some contradiction in the near future. Yeah, I will say I was really blindsided by the Tenma Taro figure being Mr. Filch. Huh. I definitely did not see that coming. I really did think it was Florent LaBelle in the costume, but hey, you never know. Yeah, no, I'm not too sure I have anything else of value to say, really. Just that, as always, I've been enjoying this greatly. I'm really intrigued by this mystery. I can't wait to see how this ends up, so hope you've been enjoying it too. I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Dual Destinies. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.